Granny's Old Junk by Irvine Welsh. The warden, Mrs. French, I think they call her, is looking me up and down. It's fairly obvious that she doesn't like what she sees. Her gaze has a steely ice to it. It's definitely a negative evaluation I'm getting here. So, she says, hands on hips, eyes flitting suspiciously in that glistening yellow-brown foundation mask, topped by a brittle head of brown hair. You're Mrs. Abercrombie's grandson. Aye, I acknowledge. I shouldn't resent Mrs. French. She's only doing her job. Where she's less than vigilant in keeping her eye on the old doll, complaints from the family would ensue. I also have to acknowledge that I'm less than presentable. Lank, greasy black hair, a scrawny growth sprouting from a deadly white face broken up by a few red and yellow spots. My overcoat has seen better days, and I can't remember when I changed into these jeans, sweatshirt, t-shirt, trainers, socks and boxer shorts. Well, I suppose you'd better come in, Mrs. French said, reluctantly shifting her sizable bulk. I squeezed past, still brushing against her. Mrs. French was like an oil tanker. It took a while for her to actually change direction. She's on the second floor. You don't come to see her very often, do you? She said with an accusatory pout. No, this is the first time I've been to see the old doll since she moved into the sheltered housing scheme. That must be over 5 years ago now. Very few families are close nowadays. People move around, live in different parts of the country, lead different lives. It's pointless lamenting something as inevitable as the decline of the extended family network. In a way, it's a good thing, because it gives people like Mrs. French jobs. I don't stay local, I mumble, making my way down the corridor, feeling a twinge of self-hate for justifying myself to the warden. The corridors have a rank, fetid smell of piss and stale bodies. Most people here seem in such an advanced state of infirmity that it merely confirms my intuitive feelings that such places are just antechambers to death. It follows me from this that my actions won't alter the old doll's quality of life. She'll scarcely notice that the money's gone. Some of it would probably be mine anyway, when she finally snuffs it. So what the fuck's the point of waiting until it's no good to me? The old doll could hang on for donkey's years as a cabbage. It would be utterly perverse, self-defeating nonsense not to rip her off now, to allow oneself to be constrained by some stupid irrelevant set of taboos which passes morality. I need what's in her tin. It's been in the family for so long. Grand shortbread tin. Just sitting there under her bed, crammed full of bundles of notes. I remember as a sprog, her opening it up on her birthdays and peeling off a few notes from what seemed to be a fortune, the absence of which made no impact on the wad. Her life savings. Savings for what? Savings for us, that's what. The daft old cunt. Too feeble, too inadequate to enjoy or even use her wealth. Well, I shall just have to have my share now, Granny. Thank you very much. I rap on the door. Abercrombie with a red tartan background. My back chills and my joints feel stiff and aching. I haven't got long. She opens the door. She looks so small, like a wizened puppet, like Zelda out of Terrorhawks. Gran, I smile. Graham, she says, her face expanding warmly. God, I can't believe it. Come in, come in. She sits me down, babbling excitedly, hobbling back and forth from her small adjoining kitchen as she slowly and cumbersomely prepares tea. I keep asking your mother how you never come to see me. You always used to come on Sunday for your dinner, mind. For your mince, remember, Graham? She says. Aye, the mince, Gran. At the old place mine, she says wistfully. I remember it well, Gran, I nodded. It was a vermin-infested hovel, unfit for human habitation. Hated that grotty tenement, those stairs. The top floor, surprise, fucking surprise, with the backs of my legs already fucked from walking, the sickening ritual of walking up and down Leith Walk and Junction Street. Her standing oblivious to our pain and discomfort, as she prattled on a load of irrelevant mundane shite, with every other old hound that crossed our paths. Big brother Alan taking his exasperation out on me by punching me or booting me or twisting my arm and when she wasn't looking. And if she was, she didn't bother. Mickey Weir gets more protection from Simon at Ibrox than I ever did from that old cunt. Then, after all that, the fucking stairs. God, I detest those fucking stairs. She comes in and looks at me sadly. She shakes her head with her chin on her chest. Your mother was saying that you've been getting into trouble with these drugs and things. I says, no, Graham, surely no. People exaggerate, Gran, I said as a spasm of pain shot through my bones, and a delirious, shivering tremor triggered off an excretion of stale perspiration from my pores. Fuck. She re-emerges from the kitchen, popping out like a crumpled jack-in-the-box. I thought so. I says, oh, Joyce, no, Graham, he's got more sense than that. Ma goes on a bit. I enjoy myself, Gran. I'm no saying otherwise, but I didn't touch drugs, eh? You didn't need drugs to enjoy yourself. That's what I says to your mother. The laddie's an Abercrombie, I tell her. Works hard and plays hard. My name was Miller, not Crombie. And that the old lady's side. The old hound seemed to believe that being referred to as an Abercrombie is the highest possible accolade one can aspire to. Though perhaps, if you want to demonstrate expertise in alcoholism and theft, this may very well be the case. Aye, some cried at the Abercrombies, eh, Gran? That's right, son. My Eddie, your grandfather, he was the same. Worked hard, played hard, and a finer man never walked the earth. He never kept her short, she smiled proudly. Short. Of my works in my inside pocket. Needle, spoon, cotton bowls, lighter. All I needed a few grains of smack. Then just add water and all's better. My passport's in that tin. Where's the lavvy, Gran? Despite the small size of the flat, she insisted on escorting me to the bog, as if I'd get lost on the way. She fussed, clucked and farted as if I were preparing to go on safari. I tried a quick slash but couldn't pee, so I stealthily tiptoed into the bedroom. I lifted up the bedclothes that hung on the floor. The dark old shortbread tin with the view of Holly Road Place sat in full magnificent view under the bed. It was ridiculous, an act of absolute criminal stupidity to have that just lying around in this day and age. I was more convinced than ever that I had to rip her off. If I didn't, someone else would. Surely she'd want me to have the money rather than some stranger. If I didn't take the cash, I'd be worried sick about it. Anyway, I was planning to get clean soon. Maybe get a job or go to college or something. The old hound would get her back right enough, no problem. Prising open the lid of the fucker was proving extremely difficult. My hands were trembling and I couldn't get any purchase on it. I was starting to make headway when I heard a voice behind me. So, that's what it was all about. She was standing right over me. I thought I'd have heard the clumsy old boot sneaking up on me, but she was like a fucking ghost. Your mother was right, you're a thief, feeding your habit with drugs and there's at it. No, Gran, it's just, dinna lie, son, dinna lie. A thief that steals for his own bad, but a liar's even worse. You dinna ken what you're standing with, a liar. Get away for the bloody tin. She snapped so suddenly that I was taken aback, but I sat where I was. I need something, right? You'll find no money in there, she said, but I could tell by the anxiety in her voice that she was lying. I prized, and it transpired that she wasn't. On top of the pile of old photos lay some whitish brown powder in a plastic bag. I'd never seen so much gear. What the fucking hell is this? Get away from there, get away, you fucking thief. Her bony, spiny leg lashed out and caught me on the side of the face. It didn't hurt, but it shocked me. Her swearing shocked me even more. You fucking old... I sprang to my feet, holding the bag in the air, beyond her outstretched hands. Better call the warden, Gran, she'll be interested in this. She pouted bitterly and sat down on the bed. You got works? She asked. Aye. Click up a shot then, make yourself useful. I started to do as she said. How, Gran, how? I asked, relieved and bemused. Eddie, the merchant navy. He came back with a habit. We had contacts, the docks. The money was good, son. Thing is, I kept feeding it, and now I have to sell to the young ones to keep going. The money all goes up front. She shook her head, looking hard at me. There's a couple of young'uns that get to run messages for me, but that fat nosy one downstairs, the warden, she's getting suspicious. I took up her cue. Talk about falling on your feet. Gran, maybe we can work this out together. The animal hostility in her small pinched face dissolved into a scheming grin. You're an Abercrombie all right, she said. Right enough, I acknowledged with queasy defeatism.